Destination Saturday, Kyle Field, College Station, Texas. Home of the 12th man, Bama, Texas A&M, SEC West showdown. But right now you're rocking and rolling right here on the hottest show on the streets on a Wednesday, hump day, number one form for your Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Happy to have you all in here. We bring you the show from the magic city of Birmingham. We stream this to you through YouTube. Speaking of the channel, you know what time it is. Get hooked in or get hooked on. Get locked in. Get addicted on to your number one source when it comes down to Bama football. Subscribe to the show. Hit that subscribe button. Let everybody that you know, diehard Bama fans, casual Bama fans, consumer of Tide football, little Mo from down the road, everybody that you know, talking Bama football, get them locked in on this show right here. Also share the show to everybody that you know on all platforms that you have. Give us that thumbs up right there. Hit that like button, show the love, smash the like button. Trying to get this 50 likes out the gate to start the show. Daily Super Chat go $100. Daily Super Chat go $100 right there. We appreciate you guys. Also hit that notification bell so that way you miss nothing when it comes down to your Bama football. We got a lot to discuss, a lot to talk about, a lot to dive into. Want to hear from you, the passionate fans of Bama football. You can do this by calling 205-448-1358. The number to call in to let your voice be made known on this show, 205-448-1358. One more time, 205-448-1358. But Eli, without further ado, let's jump into this. Bama, Texas A&M, Saturday, 2:30 p.m. Central Time kickoff. CBS has the call from Kyle Field, the 12th man, College Station, Texas, the crazy Aggie Nation. Here we go. Massive SEC West showdown. The division on the line, up for grabs this week. Whoever wins this game takes division. Whoever wins this game, I see them running the table here. So, big matchup between Alabama and Texas A&M. And for me, Eli, this one, you know, the Alabama A&M game, it became interesting at first when Johnny Manziel got there. You know, when A&M first joined the conference in 2012, we didn't know who the quarterback would be for that Bama A&M game. We found out it was Johnny Heisman football Manziel. You know, 2012, that crazy matchup he had right there. You beat Alabama and Bryant-Denny 29-24. Then the next year, you know, Manziel gave Alabama another good game, but A.J. McCarron outlasted him 49-42 in favor of Bama. And then, but now the rivalry's become more about two coaches from West Virginia, of whom were on the same staff together when they won a national championship together, that being 2003 at LSU. Nick Saban, the head coach, Jimbo Fisher, the offensive coordinator. But now this rivalry's become more so about Saban and Fisher. Remember, you know, the spring of 2022, the whole recruiting dust-up, where Nick Saban said, hey, A&M bought that whole 2022 recruiting class. And so Jimbo Fisher follows up with calling Nick Saban a narcissist, and his comments are absolutely despicable. Alabama beat A&M at Bryant-Denny that season. The previous season, Alabama went to Kyle Field, lost to A&M, despite having Bryce Young, Will Anderson, and Jamison Williams. Crimson Tide suffered a 38-41 loss. So here we are here this time around again. Bama, A&M, and a lot of talking heads picking A&M. A lot of national media picking Texas A&M. They look at, hey, Jimbo Fisher has his team playing way better than what it did week 2 of the season against Miami. You got Max Johnson, who stabilized the ship there at quarterback, stabilized the offense, 6 touchdowns, 1 pick. A&M has a 1-2 punch at running back. Got a wealth of wide receivers led by Evan Stewart, who's got 357 yards receiving, 4 touchdowns. The A&M defense under DJ Durkin as defensive coordinator. We're looking at 20 sacks, 49 tackles for loss. Guys getting after the quarterback. So a lot of the national talking media, big on A&M. Huge on A&M right now. But I look at this kind of like the 2015 matchup. Now, Eli, I'm not saying this will be like a 2015 matchup. I'm just saying there are vibes for this game that kind of point to the 2015 matchup. And this is what I'm saying here. Remember, Eli, in 2015, Alabama had the loss to Ole Miss early in the season. It was week 3. Much like Alabama this season lost to Texas week 2. But Alabama lost to Ole Miss week 3 of the 15 season. And the word was, Bama's done. It's over. You lose to Ole Miss. There's no way to rebound. There's no way to recover. Saban's run of championships done. Put a fork in it. It will not continue. And Alabama goes to Sanford Stadium, takes on Georgia, and the monsoon of rain smacks Georgia in the mouth. You win by 28 points, so you were an underdog in that game. And then you go down to Kyle Field, and everybody's talking. And at that point in time, it was newly renovated Kyle Field. And it was Kyle Allen, Heisman Trophy type quarterback. It was, you're going down to newly renovated Kyle Field. There's no way on God's earth Alabama should win this matchup. No way. No way. Bama goes down to Kyle Field, beats A&M like a motherless child, 41-23 at Kyle Field. It was Derrick Henry run crazy. Defense, do your thing. Minkah Fitzpatrick had 2 pick sixes. And not to mention Jacob Coker ran over a DB. Just to throw that out there. And you win the game 41-23. And you go on to win the national championship, right? So here we are here. Alabama loses to Texas week 2 at Bryant-Denny, 34-24. Here comes the national talking heads. Oh, it's over. There's no way Bama can rebound. They just lost to Texas at home. Steve Sarkisian's a pretty darn good football coach. Texas is a pretty good football team, right? And so the last 3 weeks here, look at how Alabama's building this. Since the Texas loss, Bama only giving up 3 points to USF, only giving up 10 points to a Lane Kiffin Ole Miss team, and only giving up 17 points to Mississippi State. Here we go again. The next big marquee matchup, Bama going on the road, Kyle Field, College Station, Texas. And a lot of people feel like, can Jimbo Fisher get Nick Saban again? He got him 2 years ago. Can he get him again at Kyle Field? Well, the first part of all of this is you look at Kevin Steele and Tommy Rees. Can these two have their best game of the season as coordinators? Starting this thing off of Kevin Steele. Now, I know Alabama lost to Texas week 2. For the most part, Kevin Steele and that defense held Steve Sarkisian's offense to 13 points. It was just, hey, offense had a tough time getting going, which put the defense out there on the field more, which had the defense tire out. But ever since the Texas game, you look at, you hold South Florida to 3, you hold a very talented Lane Kiffin team to 10, you hold Mississippi State to 17. Kevin Steele, can he go up against Bobby Petrino, have the best defensive game plan of the season to this point, shutting down A&M? And then from an offensive perspective, can Tommy Rees, Bama fans, y'all been calling for it, crying for it, that creativity, But hey, you got all of this offensive talent. Work with it all. Do something with it all. Can we see Tommy Rees, his best offensive game plan at this point in the season? Can both of these two call their best games? That's the big thing. Because if they can, I'll say this, if Rees and Steele do their jobs and excel at them in this matchup, Bama takes care of A&M and runs the table. I think if both of these two do what they're supposed to do, Steele and Rees, I think Alabama takes A&M and they run the table, get to the SEC championship, win it, get to the college football playoff. I mean, there's so much parity right now going in the SEC. Georgia could have literally failed to Auburn last week. Georgia's totally beatable right now. I mean, if Georgia did not have Brock Bowers, they lose that game to Auburn. So, with the SEC kind of up for grabs in a sense, Bama handles A&M. They go down to Aggie land and handle A&M. Bama runs the table, in my opinion. They run the table all the way to the college football playoff. I think the biggest thing for Bama is going to be the offensive line. Bama's offensive line, it gets the snapping down, turn to the quarterback exchange, snapping there, and if it's able to neutralize A&M's defensive front, if it's able to do both of those two aspects, Bama will handle the Aggies and run that table. But a lot of people right now, big on A&M. A lot of people right now, big on Jimbo Fisher. Huge matchup for him. Because if Jimbo Fisher doesn't take this game, I don't know if Jimbo's going to last after the season. I'm just going to be honest. If Jimbo don't take this game and finish the season not being 8-4, then Jimbo ain't going to last after this year. I'm just gonna keep it a bean with you. Jimbo ain't gonna last after this year if he don't find a way to not only take this game, but to also not finish the season 8-4 or 8-5, especially with the patience that the Aggie Nation has had with him. They're thinking, hey, we got bigger facilities, we got better facilities, everything's bigger in Texas, we got NIL, and possibly the best NIL that money can buy. If we're not doing better than 8-4, 8-5, then Jimbo, why are you here? That's the A&M fan base. So, monstrous pressure on Fisher, not just this game, but also making sure you don't go 8-4 again. Making sure you don't go 8-5 again. But a lot of people banking on A&M. I just get a lot of 2015 feeling, Eli, in this game because you really don't know which A&M is going to show up. You don't know which Alabama shows up, but I feel like with the way Miss Terry Saban kind of unlocked her husband last week, I think we may see the Alabama we need to see, but I don't know which A&M is going to show up. So I'm going to leave it at this. Everybody's going A&M. I see a lot of 2015 vibe to this. I think Bama goes in there and handles business on the road against the Aggies. But take a break right here, folks, on the show. I don't touch that dial, just getting started. When we return, we go to the phone lines, we grab your calls, we get your thoughts, your conversations. Hey, line us up. We want to hear from you, the Bama fans, right after this.
Nine players have teamed up and released the Alabama team paper, which is a video yearbook they've put out for sale direct to fans. Now, for the first time, small dollar purchases from the fans can support the players as a group as well as a great cause, because $1 of every subscription payment is donated to the Boys and Girls Club of America. Be a 5-star fan base and support your team and a great cause with Team Paper. Check it out at teampaper.com/Alabama.
Remember the taste of Grandma's delicious sweets? Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes brings back those precious memories with just one bite. Each cake made from scratch. They make the perfect dessert to share with family and friends for any occasion, and ordering is easy. Visit emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Click the online store and shop. Then pick up your fresh cake at the kitchen in downtown Homewood. Order yours online at emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes, making memories from scratch.
All right, people, we're back into the action from the break on a Wednesday, hump day. #1 form for Bama. Football news, in my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. Continue tapping that subscribe button, sharing the show, smashing the like button, giving that thumbs up right there, helping us out right here. Gotta show some love to Adam Lepolero with that $25 donation in the Super Chat, showing love there. Appreciate Adam helping us out right there. Coach Saban, speaking tonight at his Wednesday presser, said he's been very pleased with the way the team's practiced this week. Looks like the team got that energy. It's an A&M matchup. Saban very pleased with how the team has had the focus, the energy, the mindset this week in practice, knowing, hey, SEC West on the line with this matchup right here against the Aggies. But before we go to the phone lines to grab your calls, call segment brought to you by the Blue Wrench Gang. Gotta give a word here to our sponsors. Today's show brought to you by Caldera Lab. Caldera Lab. So, gentlemen, we all know first impressions matter because they do. And if you're not taking care of your skin, that's going to be the first thing someone notices and instantly either thinks you're way older than what you are, or you just don't care about your appearance. Show them you do and make a great first impression with Caldera Lab. I've used it myself. Been great for my skin, helping me look even more appealing than I already do, but appreciate Caldera Lab for that. Not trying to be vain there. But you're going to brush your teeth today. Incorporating skincare steps before it guarantees to not mess up your routine, leaving your breath fresh and your face refreshed. So Caldera Lab creates high-performance men's skincare products, and the regimen leads off the product lineup, a twice-a-day routine to transform your skin. Caldera Lab knows that the skincare world is heavily female-driven. It has long been the wild, wild west for men. That's why they're making their solution simple. Caldera Lab is the leader in men's skincare, made only with top-tier ingredients, and clinical trials have found 94% of men's skin showed an overall younger-looking appearance after using Caldera Lab for a few weeks. 1 minute more than a night is all it takes to reduce your wrinkles, fine lines, and signs of aging. And just for our audience, we have an exclusive offer. This is their best offer available anywhere. You use the code TDA at CalderaLab.com and 20% off right now. Get that 20% off right now. You get 20% off with using the code TDA at CalderaLab.com and make unforgettable first impressions that lead to the charming words, "You look younger." You get 20% off today using TDA, CalderaLab.com. You check it out right there. Appreciate those guys for what they do. But we go to the phone lines right now to grab your calls. 205-448-1358. The number to call in, 205-448-1358. We take this call, hear you live on the show. What's happening, how we feel, and state your name and where you calling from.
What's up, Steven? It's Isaac from Mobile.
What's going on, man? How we feeling?
Feeling pretty good, man. I just wanted to call in and just a couple things I want to see from this game. I think it's going to be a pretty good game. Because if you look at talent for talent, I think you can kind of say that that's a wash. We got 5 stars, they got 5 stars. They done brought in a couple nice recruiting classes. So talent for talent, I think you can say is a wash. But couple things. First of all, for Jalen Milroe, of course, can't turn the ball over. Don't hold the ball too long. Don't take unnecessary sacks. Don't take 10-yard losses on sacks and stuff like that. Look, man, we got 2 elite specialists. Either let Will Riker kick that field goal or let James Burnup try to flip the field. But either way, can't turn the ball over. Don't take unnecessary sacks. And I want to see Tommy Rees let him loose a little bit. I don't want him to handicap him. I don't mean drop him back 50 times, but show some creativity a little bit. Let let him play. I want to see him let him play a little bit. And for Tommy Rees, wherever you've been holding for these first 4 or 5 weeks in the season, whatever you got in your bag, it's time. It's time now. Pull it out, whatever you got. It's time for him to get in his bag and pull it out. Another thing, left tackle. If Caden Proctor can't hold up one-on-one, either get Pritchard in there or help him out. Get a tight end over there, get a back, chip, something. Please do not let this man play one-on-one all night and get beat. Please don't do that. Defense. I think only thing I think defense need to do is if we're not getting home with the 4-man rush, please blitz early. Do not let this man get comfortable and let an average quarterback have the game of his life against Alabama. We got elite corners. We got a pretty elite secondary. I say go ahead and blitz and hit them, make them feel you. So I think it's gonna be a good game. I think this is a good test for us and offensive line. Hey, look, maybe y'all talked a little bit too soon in the offseason. It happens. But now look, they saying A&M got a pretty good defensive line. So here y'all go. Here go the challenge right here. Run the ball. I hope they don't abort the run game either. That's the last thing. Don't abort the run game. Please do not let them make us one-dimensional and let them tee off on Jalen Milroe, because that's gonna be ugly. If they can make us one-dimensional and tee off on Milroe, it's gonna be bad. So anyway, that's all I want to see. And roll tide. Appreciate you, Steve.
Appreciate Isaac from Mobile calling in right there, giving his points to the show on a Wednesday. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name. Where you calling from?
Hey, Steven, it's Adam calling from Georgia. How are you?
Doing great, Adam. Doing fantastic. But the better question, how are you?
I'm doing great, thanks. I just had a quick question. Now, I'm no expert on football, but a lot of people are saying that A&M is going to stack the box and take away the run and force Milroe to beat them with his arm. But when I was thinking about it, I'm like, well, why don't we on offense do 4 and 5 wide receiver sets, spread the field, and start doing some bubble screens or some slants, some crossing routes? How are they going to stack the box if we spread them out with 4 and 5 wideouts? Wouldn't that be a way to then give Milroe to stop them from stacking the box, and then give Milroe the option to run or pass as he sees the defense?
It would, Adam, it would, and that's something that Tommy Rees needs to look at and consider. If you go for 4 and 5 wide, you're spreading out the A&M defense. You're giving Jalen Milroe options, whether that's bubble screens, tunnel screens, pop passes, jet sweeps, and even design quarterback runs where you turn the receivers into blockers. You get Milroe on the edge. You give him one man that he can make miss, and he's gone. So 4 or 5 wide receiver looks should be something that Rees should consider here.
Yeah, I totally agree, and I hope to see Rees being more creative. But ultimately, I think we come out with the win. So roll tide. Thanks for taking my call, Steven.
Absolutely. Appreciate Adam calling in there from Georgia, helping us out here on the show. We got another call right here, so we'll take this one. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name. Where you calling from?
Hey, Steve, it's Michael from Columbus, South Carolina. How you doing?
Doing great, great, Michael, and yourself?
I'm doing pretty good. I got two questions for you, buddy.
Go ahead.
So, the big question I have for you really is how important, and I can't speak enough on that. How important it is that Kool-Aid McKinstry, Terrion Arnold, and that secondary do a really good job against A&M, because they got bowlers and receivers. I mean, Evan Stewart, a nice Smith. He is hard to stop. A 6'6" receiver and Noah Thomas. They have weapons. Moose Muhammad. They have a stack of receivers that can go up and get the ball. And so my question really to you is, how important is that the secondary plays well to stop those receivers?
It's pivotal. It's pivotal that the secondary plays well, Michael. It's pivotal that Kool-Aid McKinstry, Terrion Arnold lock up their guys. It's pivotal that Malachi Moore, Caleb Downs, and Jalen Key handle their responsibilities on the back end as well. But I think it's even more pivotal for that defensive front to get after Max Johnson at quarterback and not give him that time to throw. It's pivotal for the defensive line, Justin Boygby, Tim Smith, Tim Keenan, to continue taking those steps we've seen from the Ole Miss game to now. The D-line has gotten better in pressuring that pocket. They got to continue to do that to free up Dallas Turner, Chris Braswell to run around crazy and get sacks, which ultimately makes your secondary that much more potent. Yes, it's pivotal if the secondary knocks it up on the back end, absolutely, but that defensive front, it's going to make the time a living nightmare for Max Johnson, the quarterback.
And lastly, Steve, it's kind of a two-part question. One, how big do you think that the running backs in Roydell and McClure, if they play well, that it'll open up more passing game and more for Milroe to kind of have room to run and throw? And then lastly, the wide receivers, do you think we'll finally see a big game from Decoy Brooks and see more of Kendrick Law and Jalen Hill and those guys?
Well, first and foremost, Michael, the run game, I look at offensive line first and foremost. This offensive line can neutralize A&M's pass rush and get it going sideways instead of north and south. Then it allows Roydell Williams, Jace McClellan, Justice Haynes, and these backs to have marquee success. And the running game, since South Florida has grown. South Florida, you saw Roydell go over 100 yards. Ole Miss, you saw Jace go over 100 yards. Mississippi State, you saw Jace have a good performance. Roydell got some good runs in there. Also, Jalen Milroe, 69 rushing yards. 2 of those were touchdowns. So you're seeing the run game grow. But the offensive line, they play a big role in that, establishing that early and often against the Aggies. Now, the wide receivers, I look forward to seeing a very strong game from guys like Jermaine Burton. I could see Jalen Hale having a nice performance. I want to see Ja'Cory Brooks because he's been a veteran guy. We haven't seen much from him all season to this point, so I want to see Ja'Cory Brooks do something. But this all goes back to the creativity of Tommy Rees. With this being the SEC West on the line, how creative does he get early and often in this football game? That's the big question.
Thank you, Stephen. Have a great day.
Appreciate Michael from South Carolina calling into the show. We got a couple. Before we get to those super chats, we take this call. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Hey, this your boy Jay, and I'm in Newport News, Virginia, y'all, man. I'm in a bad, good restaurant, man. Good restaurant. LV's restaurant. So if y'all ever up this way, check it out, gang.
Hey, Jay got the food ready, man. Oh, he got the food ready. But what's on your mind, Jay? How you feeling?
Man, what? I got the yams and the macaroni on my fault, but that's my fault, y'all. My fault. That's big boy business. See, we need to run that ball, and we need to go and establish dominance, man, and send a message early to these folks. and go on to the message for the rest of the year. Some that Tennessee could fear, some that LSU got to leave on their mind. Like, dang, they really went in there and did that to that defense. That's what we need to be saying about our offense after this. See, we need to. We don't need to just run the ball, Steve. Miami beat them folks by going over the top, man. Play action, and they was just throwing the ball deep, man. They ain't got no better receivers than we got, so we need to see that. And this is gonna be the game where Seth McLaughlin, if he can't get that snap right, man, we got to go and see somebody else, because they got a bunch of big boys up there, bunch of big boys, and they all good, and they can rotate almost 10 deep, so they gonna be fresh in the fourth quarter, and we're gonna need every snap to be perfect. So Jalen ain't got to worry about the snap, and he can just read the field quickly and do what he got to do. But Steve, I love y'all. Let's dominate from the start to the end. Roll Tide, man. I love y'all.
Appreciate Jay calling in right there. Good restaurant he's got going on, getting his grub on. But we take this call. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Going on, Steve? It's Chad from Miami.
What's happening, Chad?
Not much, man. I dig some of your points and some of the other callers' points. The team has to continually gel and grow, especially with Tommy Reese, the play caller. Incorporating the tight end and the wide receivers, but I do have a few points. You're right, the D-line still have to get better and provide pressure on the opposing O-line like they did the last few games. I know Texas A&M is going to be a tough team. Like I told you before last week, when those guys do not get pressure on the opposing team's O-line, it forces the defensive coordinator to blitz our middle linebackers, which vacates the middle of the field and opens it up for the opposing team to drop their tight ends or drop a wide receiver in to get easy completions. The O-line has to continually get better, too. I like the way that or the direction the guys are going. I think they also need to rotate some bodies because, you know, as of next year, the entire right side, we're probably going to be replacing the entire O-line. So it's great that we need that they're gelling, but we also need to get some fresh bodies and to get some guys with some experience in. And then my main point is, our freaking quarterbacks are allergic to throwing the ball away. Even Ty Simpson last week, Jalen Milroe, a lot of the sacks he's been taking is his fault. It's not the O-line's fault, because I watched a lot of breakdowns. He's holding the ball. Even ESPN broke it down. He's holding the ball for 6 to 7 seconds. If you do not find an open wide receiver, you need to run or you need to throw the ball away. When he's running out of pocket, he usually runs out of bounds behind the line of scrimmage. Or when he runs out of bounds, he's still looking down the field, knowing that there's nobody open, and he gets sacked. So a large portion of the sacks he's been taking is not on the O-line's fault. It's his fault because he continued to hold on to the ball. And then my last thing is, like I said, we need to get some guys in rotation. We're going to be replacing almost 7 guys on offense and 7 guys on defense. Again, that's 2/3 of the starters. So I know we're probably going to have a few transfers, so on and so forth, but we have a lot of talent sitting on the bench. Guys that's been waiting for I guess 2 years or so, and I believe some of them need some playing time. If the D-line can't do their job, rotate some of those young guys in, because I'm pretty sure that they want to prove something. And then on the O-line also, I know Olas, Elanine, and a few other guys that came in this year have been dressed for the last few games or whatever. I believe they also need to be in a rotation. But thanks for taking my call.
Appreciate Chad from Miami giving his thoughts here on the show. We grabbed this call. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
It's Lenny from Leonardo, Texas. Steven, what's going on?
Doing good, man. How we feeling?
Man, I just feel. I feel like
couldn't quite get any there. Unfortunate right there. But we take this call. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name. Where you calling from?
Steven, Bill from New York. I'm ready. I am ready.
If you ready, I'm ready.
Oh, please listen. All we have to do is win this game. And we're going to beat Arkansas because I'm going to be there fulfilling my lifelong dream. If I have to, I'll go run on the field. Listen, I'm not going to let us lose to Arkansas. So we got to win this game. All right. Now, my thing is this. First thing I want to mention is Quadarius Robinson. You know, that's his name, right? Number 34.
Yeah.
You know, all right. Well, he saved a touchdown with a special teams tackle. I haven't heard anyone mention it anywhere. And plays like that win football games. I just wanted to give him a shout out. That was a great tackle he made.
Really was. Really was.
Right? I mean, that was a big deal. And the thing is, I just want to talk a little bit more about the tight ends. You see, our tight ends are what makes them so good is they're so different. You know, Nyblack can run patterns. He reminds me of number 19 that used to play, the guy that kind of lost his mind. You know, he runs patterns, and he's a willing blocker, though, this Nyblack. That skinny guy is running into big brick walls, and he doesn't care. I love that. And Dupree, you know, he's a big target. And, you know, a quarterback like Jalen, I think inexperienced quarterbacks, tight ends are their best friends. And he could throw it up high to this guy, and he's hard to bring down. He's a hard guy to bring down. But now the last thing I want to do is move to the defense. You know, my man Caleb Downs, I predict, is going to take this game over. That guy is so good. Listen, he's a freshman, and he's on his way to being one of the rare first-round draft picks as a safety. That kid can play. And he's a young little guy. He's running up in the line of scrimmage and making tackles behind the line, doing everything. And between him and Malachi, I think we have the best safeties in college football, you know. And that's what's going to happen. We're going to beat them. We're going to absolutely destroy them. I'm looking at 38-14, and I think I'm being a little generous with the 14. I think we're going to wipe them out. Get us some pressure up front. The secondary will take over. Steve, I'm all riled up. I'm sorry.
I'm ready. I am ready. I am prepared for this matchup against A&M. And going back to your point, Bill, about Caleb Downs, the guy that he's often compared to, and I'm not making this comparison, but a guy that Caleb Downs gets compared to from time to time is Minkah Fitzpatrick. Minkah, as a freshman, the A&M game was Minkah's coming out party in 2015. He had 2 pick sixes off Kyle Allen in that game at Kyle Field in 2015. That kind of set Minkah up. Now here's Caleb Downs coming to Kyle Field. What kind of game could he have at Kyle Field? It's going to be very fun to watch this.
That's right, and he's smart for his age, a guy at his age. And by the way, I heard the interview with Terry on. That guy sounds like an intellectual. We have smart players back there. We're going to do this, Stephen. But I'll let you go. I don't want to keep going. I'm all wound up.
Appreciate Bill calling in from New York right there to the show. Like I said, I'm not saying that Caleb is Minkah. Absolutely not. I'm saying there are some similarities there. And I just go back to 2015, that game at Kyle Field, that was Minkah's coming out party. Remember that. He had 2 pick sixes in that game, and he went on to become what he became as a defensive back for the Crimson Tide, a highly decorated young man and a first-round pick. Now you look at Caleb Downs, who's coming to Kyle Field. What type of performance could he have in this matchup? We take this call. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name. Where you calling from?
Hi, Stephen. It's Siobhan Pompey.
How we feeling, Siobhan? How we feeling?
Hi, I am well. How about yourself?
I am fantastic. I'm getting myself prepared to deal with the craziness that is College Station, A&M, but I think Miss Terry unlocked her husband last week.
I agree wholeheartedly. I just had 2 things, Steve. First of all, I'm a first-time caller, and I love your show. I know my husband gets sick of me because I'm always listening to your show, but I love it. But I just wanted to say I agree with Bill. I know that Caleb Downs is going to dominate. I mean, I was looking at the Miami game against Texas A&M, and those boys were so physical. So Alabama has to get out there. They got to be physical. Like you say, they got to run through them.
They're going to have to.
I am so ready. So what do you see as far as, do we know if Jam Miller is going to be in the game? Have we heard anything?
Jam Miller is going to play. I think Bama can also see more of Justice Haynes. That's kind of the guy I want to see more of, just due to when Justice got in, and Eli, you were on the field. When Justice got in, he had one run where he broke through the middle, kept his balance. I think he got like 15 yards from the play. And I'm like, can we please see more of this guy right here? Because we saw him in the spring, and Saban was just gaga for Justice Haynes. So can we just kind of get more of him involved? I mean, I know I like Chase McClellan. I like Roydell, don't get me wrong. But can we see a bit more of what the future is with Justice Haynes?
Yeah, I'm with you. I want to see Justice Haynes. I want to see Jam Miller. And I want McKinstry to kind of pick it up and run that ball all the way to the other end. That's what I want to see. So I'll let you go, Stephen. I love your show. Thank you so much for having me on.
Absolutely. Siobhan Pompey calling in from Atlanta. Excited about her calling into the show. And not just Kool-Aid picking it up there as far as the punt returns. If it's not Kool-Aid for punt returns, I wouldn't mind looking at maybe Isaiah Bond doing it, maybe Emmanuel Henderson once he gets back, maybe Cole Adams. I mean, you got some different guys that could do it. It's just for me, maybe it's me, Eli. Maybe it's because I grew up on Javier Arenas. Maybe it's because I grew up on Javier Arenas and Tyrone Prothro and Christian Jones, Cyrus Jones. Maybe it's because I grew up on watching guys, Freddie Millens, their first step on that punt return was lightning quick, and I'm just not seeing that so far from Kool-Aid. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me, but we'll take this call. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Hey, my name's Will, calling from T-Town, Tampa Bay, Florida. How y'all doing tonight?
Doing great, Will. And yourself?
I'm doing great. I was actually at the game, the USF game. It was, a little hard to watch, but I made it through. But I only have a few things for you, Stephen. First off, are we opening the playbook for Jalen tonight? Or not tonight, but against A&M. Are they going to open up the playbook and actually let them throw the ball and let our wide receivers eat? What do you think?
Will, this is the game where it has to happen. Tommy Reese has to open this thing up. In the past, when there's been a big matchup for Alabama, the offensive coordinator dives deep into that play call bag and pulls some stuff out. Whether it was Lane Kiffin that did it, Steve Sarkisian that did it, you even had some creative moments from older guys like your Jim McElwain's for that matter. So here it is for Tommy Reese. It's time for him to pull this out, have that trust there in Milroe, but it's time to pull this out because I've said this, you go down there and you handle A&M, you run this table, but Tommy Reese is going to pull it out.
Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. Them boys got to come out, throw the ball all over the yard. Another reason I say that is I do worry that our wide receivers may, think of transferring or other things if we don't start getting them the ball. You know what I mean?
You definitely want to start getting those wide receivers the football there. Will, did we lose you?
I'm here.
Okay, but I agree with you on that point. You want to start getting the wide receivers the football, but on top of that, the wide receivers got to start, showing up more. And I'm referring to guys like Ja'Cory Brooks. He came into the season, last year, led the team in touchdown receptions with 8. But Corey's been missing. We gotta want to see more from him. I mean, Jermaine Burton stepped up. Isaiah Bonds got 12 catches on the year. Would like to see more of Kobe Prentice, Kendrick Law involved, but we got to see more of these receivers come alive here in this passing game. And then on top of that, getting the tight ends more involved. Amari Niblack is showing I can do some stuff. TJ Dupree, I can do some stuff. So getting these tight ends involved too.
Absolutely. Hey, I'm going to let y'all go. Love the show. Thanks for having me on, Steve.
Appreciate Will calling in there from Tampa, Florida right there. But, yeah, that South Florida game was tough for me as well, Eli. That was a tough game for me to watch. I mean, Bama got the win 17-3, but my goodness, they looked like they were sleepwalking through the whole game. But did get the win 17-3. We've moved on from that. We're now on Texas A&M, but we got some super chats to get to, so here we go. We got AC, been there before with that $4.99 dropping the love in there. Appreciate AC. And then we got the president Waylon with $16.97 dropping that into the bank there. And then we got my man Bill from New York with that $5 donation. Showing love there as well. Daily Super Chat Go, $100. Daily Super Chat Go. Appreciate the love coming from all of you. Our call topic just so happens to be about one Caleb Downs, 5-star from Georgia by the way of Mill Creek High School. Downs, 40 tackles this season. He leads the team. I mean, not trying to quote the Bible, Eli, but we'll quote it. A child shall lead them. Here's Caleb Downs, freshman, 40 tackles. Just putting it out there. 40 tackles to lead the team. Caleb Downs, 2-time SEC Freshman of the Week. Caleb Downs, Sean Alexander, Freshman of the Week for his performance against Mississippi State. 13 tackles, his first career interception. Playing big-time ball. Caleb Downs. Minka Fitzpatrick, his freshman year, went down to Kyle Field, had 2 pick sixes. What do we see from Caleb this weekend? This is going to be a fun matchup right here. We go to our break here, folks. Don't touch that dab. When we get back, we talk one Jalen Milroe from Katy, Texas. He returns to the home state. Could this be an opportunity to maybe possibly kick off a Heisman campaign? We'll discuss it after this.
What's up, Bama Nation? This is Rudy Griffin, former Alabama defensive lineman, and you're listening to my guy, Stephen M. Smith, in my own words, brought to you by Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Roll Tide, roll!
Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
All right, folks, we're back into the action from the break. Rocking and rolling with you on a Wednesday, hump day, in my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. Got the man, Eli, the veteran, Walker, in the production studio, handling things here on this evening. Continue to hit that subscribe button, tap the like button, give us that thumbs up right there, show that support to us here on the show. People, we have a message board. The link, the message board can be found in the chat line and in the description. Definitely want you guys checking that out right there. But topic 2, Eli, Jalen Milroe. Big week for him. He returns to the home state of Texas. He's a native of Katy, Texas, went to Tompkins High School. Former 4-star in the 2021 signing class. Nick Saban has sort of built Jalen Milroe for this game, for this matchup. Everything that's been done to this point has been geared toward this game. His first career start came last year in this game in Bryant-Denny between Bama and A&M. Milroe replaced an injured Bryce Young, threw for 3 touchdown passes. Yes, he had a few turnovers, but Alabama won the game 24-20. Milroe talked about it this week. You know, this was the game that I learned a lot about myself and a lot in a season ago. This is the game that caused me to grow up as a player. Now Milroe goes to Kyle Field, goes to College Station, takes on Jimbo Fisher inside the 12th man. Saban has built him for this game. And for me, this is just my opinion here. If Jalen Milroe goes to Kyle Field, and if he has a game where he completes 70% or better on his passes, if he has a game where he goes for over 300 passing yards, 300 plus, if he has a game where he has 4+ touchdowns, no turnovers, and Alabama manhandles A&M by 2+ touchdowns, start the Heisman campaign. That's all I'm saying. Start the Heisman campaign. Put his name in the bucket for the Heisman. Not saying he wins it, but at least start the conversation. If he goes to Kyle Field, once again, A&M's defense now, top 5 in the country in sacks. Got 20. Edgerrin Cooper leads that group, if I'm not mistaken, with 5.5 sacks he's got. I think he's got like 10 tackles for loss, something like that. So, Jalen Milroe goes down the Aggie land. He completes 70% or better on passes. All right. He goes for 300+ passing yards. He goes for 4+ touchdowns, no turnovers, and you whoop A&M like a Mexican piñata. You gotta now say we can start the Heisman campaign for Jalen Milroe. We can now put his name in the hat for conversations. We can put his name in the hat for conversations. Even bigger than Milroe, because I feel like the offensive coordinator success is tied to quarterback success. I think back to the reason why Blake Sims had the success he had in 2014, who was coaching him, Lane Kiffin. The reason why Jacob Coker had his success in 2015, who was coaching him, Lane Kiffin. The reason why Jalen Hurts, had his success as a freshman in 2016, who was coaching him, Lane Kiffin. The reason why Tua Tagovailoa and Mac Jones had their success, who was coaching them, Steve Sarkisian. But you look at the success of the quarterback, a lot of times tied to the success of the offensive coordinator. Now, am I giving Bryce Young's Heisman to Bill O'Brien? Absolutely not. I think in that sense, Bryce Young saved Bill O'Brien's bottom. In that sense, I can say. Now, O'Brien did some things, but that was more so Bryce than anything else. That was more so 9 being special. I'll leave it at that. But in this case, for Jalen Milroe, Tommy Rees, he's got to call the game of his life to this point to get the best set up and out of Jalen Milroe. Tommy Rees calls the game of his life. I think Jalen Milroe is going to go out here and have a field day. Got a shot to do it. Tommy Rees calls the game of his life. Offensive line neutralizes A&M's defensive front. You can put Milroe in this Heisman conversation. This is the week right here you can get this done. Goes back home to Texas. Got a major shot to pull this out. And he's made growth since the South Florida game. South Florida game, didn't play, but we saw the leadership, right? Ole Miss game, we saw growth, stand in that pocket. You take a hit, but stand in that pocket. You give your guys a chance to make plays. He did that. We saw that. Mississippi State, people were wondering, can he make the short to intermediate passes? He did. It wasn't flashy, it wasn't explosive, but yes, 10 for 12 passing, $164, didn't turn the ball over. You didn't need him to be flashy. Now in this game against A&M, you want to see him open that thing up. Jalen Milroe opens this thing up, pops the cork off this bottle. No turnovers. Put him in the Heisman. Put him in there. Or at least let's start having conversations about it. Either or I'm fine with. This is a big game here for Milroe to kind of put himself into this conversation. But we take another break here, folks, from the show. On Touch That Dial, people, when we get back, we return to the phone lines. We grab your calls, your thoughts, your conversations. Bring them in. Light us up. We'll be back after this.
Every sports fan deserves the proper representation. Whitwell Sports introduces to you the Title Towel. Wave that Title Towel in the air like you just don't care. In support of Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Only $9.99 and it lasts a lifetime. Head on over to whitwellsports.com and get your Title Towel today.
This is Chris Rogers, 2009 national champion. You are listening to the baddest, when I say the baddest, sports show in the state of Alabama. In my own words, you know, yours truly, Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Don't touch that dial.
Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
As we are back in, locked and loaded to the action from the break, hottest show in the streets, talking Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. Gotta show some love to Siobhan Puppy. Let's go. $19.99. Super chat right there. Love. Comment in the bucket. All shapes, sizes, forms. Appreciate that. Daily Super Chat Go, $100. Daily Super Chat Go. We appreciate all of you, but right now, we thought we had a call there in the call line, but definitely want to get your calls here. 205-448-1358. Number to call in. Let your voice be made known. 205-448-1358. We appreciate you guys. 205-448-1358. Eli, I know I do this quite a bit, but gotta do this again. How about the job of my wife, Mia Smith? I mean, sharing the show, watching the show. Shouts out to my wife, Mia, right now. Cue the clap button there, Eli. Shouts out to my wife, Mia, right now. Appreciate you, babe. Shouts out to you right now. Posting, show. You and Mariah, my daughter, watching this from home. Shouts out to you right now. Speaking of wives, getting something out of their husbands that not many people can get. This makes a great segue, Eli, to our call topic. Miss Terry Saban. Has she been the one actually coaching this team, Eli, the last 17 years? Maybe. Possibly. Because only Miss Terry can cause Nick Saban to understand it's okay to be angry sometimes. It's okay to be passionate and chew players and chew coaches out sometimes. For the last couple of years at Eli, we hadn't seen Nick Saban throw a headset, break a headset, chew folks out, go on a tirade. And we were kind of getting worried about the man. We were getting a little bit concerned. I know I was. And so, against Mississippi State, For the first time this season, U.S. Bama fans paused the camera and went, is that Nick Saban pitching a fit? Did Nick just throw a handset? Did Nick just yell at somebody? Did Nick just... There's the coach I recognize. And it was a good feeling because it produced sacks, turnovers, a pick six, big plays. You got a 40-17 win out the deal. And it was Miss Terry that brought it out of him. Miss Terry sitting here telling him, hey, if they ain't doing right, get on their bottom. Chew them out. Get on to them. And Nick just said, hey, she told me to do it. I did what I was told, and she coached me up when I got home even more. So, Eli, is this the cry for half Miss Terry with the headset on the field too? I mean, that could be arranged now. Can we bring this up to Greg Byrne as the AD to have Terry Saban on the field with a headset, right? And if she feels like, okay, Nick, okay, chew at him, get after him, Nick, baby, get after him. and Terry's just telling Nick that in the headset, and Nick just does it just right there. Can we have that? On like the all 22 cam? Can we have that? Is that a thing? I mean, if it's a thing, we can totally do it. Eli just put her in the press. Eli just put Terry Saban in the press. Hey, put Terry Saban in the press box. Hey, I'm down with that. We can do that. Because she had him coaching passionately now against State. And that's got everybody ready here for the whole season. That's got Saban ready. What you got here, Eli? Eli, did you just say have Miss Terry in the press box and Tommy on the field? She can give Tommy an earful and hey, she could give Tommy Reese an earful. You know what? She could do that. Ideas coming from In My Own Words. Have Terry Saban in the press box so she could keep Tommy Reese in line. You know what, Eli? Put that down on the board. Ideas to visit. Put that one on the board right there. Kudos to Miss Terry Saban, though. For real. Got Saban back on his square. Chewing guys out. Getting the team where it needs to be at. Kudos to Terry Saban. Did that. Right? She did that. But we're going to go to our final break here on the show. I want to touch that down. When we get back, we wrap things up with Saban updating us on a trio of Bama injuries. Can these guys see the field against A&M Saturday? We'll talk about it after this.
I'm Malachi Moore, and you're watching In My Own Words with Stephen M. Smith on Touchdown Alabama YouTube channel.
Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
What's going on? This is Benny Bice. I'm the founder and owner of Touchdown Alabama. And you guys are supporting one of the only independent outlets covering Alabama football today. No other sports, no networks, just Alabama football. Roll Tide Roll.
All right, people, we appreciate all of you today for all the phone calls, donations, chats, super chatting, making this your show, your network spot, channel for Bama football. But we wrap things up with this here, Eli. Coach Saban, during the SEC coaches teleconference earlier today, was able to update reporters on a trio of injuries, 3 for Alabama. That being wide receiver Jermaine Burton, linebacker Deontay Lawson, and offensive lineman Terrence Ferguson. Those being the 3 individuals that Saban updated today. Could all 3 of these guys end up seeing the field against Texas A&M starting this thing off with Dingall and T. Ferg. They have both practiced this week. It's a good thing. Both guys got injured against Ole Miss. Deontay Lawson, an ankle issue. Terrence Ferguson, his never got unveiled, but both suffered an injury against Ole Miss. Neither played against Mississippi State, though they were listed as questionable for the game. Both guys have practiced this week for the A&M game. Coach Saban said we will not know, or Bama will not know, how effective they will be for this game until they get to warm-ups. They can see, can these guys be able to get there on the field? Now, I can see T. Ferg being back this week. I can see it. Lawson, I remember the report coming from ESPN's Chris Lowe about how he couldn't miss multiple games. Maybe, possibly, Dingall's better this week. Keeping my fingers crossed. I would love for him to be back this week. I would love for him to be back. Though, we saw some really good things from Jahad Campbell last week. 14 tackles, led the team, got his first career interception. We saw some good things from Campbell. Though I would love to see Dingall back this week. We'll see. But it's good that both guys have practiced this week. So, and for Lawson, it just depends on, when you have an ankle injury, Eli, it's how good are you able to cut on your feet, move on your feet, the lateral quickness, can you bend, the agility, a lot of that knee and ankle movement, right? So how good is Dingall's ankle as far as the cutting, the movement, the twisting, the sideline, the coverage ability, all of that type of deal, right? Like if his ankle is good to do all of that, then by all means have Dingall back on the field. If you're still slightly hesitant, then you continue with Jahad Campbell. But we shall see. It's good to see both guys practice. Jermaine Burton did not play much against Mississippi State. Alabama spot played him a lot in that game. Coach Saban did mention Burton a bit banged up, but very hopeful he'll be out there on the field against A&M a lot. So looking more and more like Burton will go against the Aggies, and that's good because you really need him out there. He has stepped his game up throughout the season. So it'll be good to see Burton out there against the Aggies. But the intriguing thing will be Deontay Lawson. How good is his ankle? Can he cut on it? Can he move on it? Can he bend on it? All of those different aspects. If the ankle's clean, if it's fresh, if it's good to go, then I'm happy to have Dingall out there. If you're still slightly hesitant about it, then you look at Jahad Campbell, just based off of what he did against Mississippi State. And then we're seeing Tresman Marshall from a middle linebacker perspective, getting better and better with each game. But to always Bama fans, you want the best in news, notes, information, coverage, entertainment on your favorite program, that being the Crimson Tide. You can get this by accessing the Touchdown Alabama Magazine app. You download the app from the iPhone App Store if you're rocking Team Apple, Google Play Store if you got the Android phone for your audio listening needs. Check us out. iTunes or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker, TuneIn Radio, Overcast.fm, Google Play, or iHeartRadio. We got you covered right there. The good and gracious Lord sees fit. I'll be back on Friday, continuing the conversation that is Tide football. Gotta give a shout out and a love to you, the Bama fans, for all the calls, all the chats, donations. You making this your spot for all things Bama football. Gotta show some love to my man Eli Walker, holding it down there in the production studio. Been holding it down all season. Been around my craziness in terms of football games from the field, but thanks to Eli for trying his best to keep me in line. Eli, that's not a hard job. So you deserve a Snickers. Not a hard job. It's not an easy job to do, my bad. It's not an easy job to do, but you're doing it. Still working on Eli or NIL deal for Taco Casa. We're still working on that. or yours and Mariah's NIL deal for Taco Casa. We're still working on that. But once we get pen and paper on that, Eli, we'll be good. We'll be good. Working on that NIL deal there. But yeah. As always, folks, husbands, love your wives. Wives appreciate, value those husbands. Children, continue doing the right thing, fun thing, smart thing, good thing, legitimate thing too. Not be bored there. Get that schoolwork in. Get you those 3 hearty meals a day, those 3 great laughs a day. You protect yourself. You protect the loved ones around you. Until next time, folks, I'm your man, Stephen M. Smith, and you've been listening to In My Own Words.